and welcome from Cape Town to Long Tom SA. My name is Roland Ebert, and we will have a look at some juices. Yes, and as usual it will be one-shots. As you guys know, that's what I do. I'm into my one-shots. And today we do a little bit in the mouth to lung tobacco category. And I use these guys, Tobacco Bastards. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They come in 10 milliliter, but in these bottles. And then you just fill it up with PG, VG and nicotine of your choice. And off you go. Have a little bit fun with them. And in order to test them, I thought I should get something which is mouth to lung. So I got myself from Vapefly and designed by Horic TV, the Vapefly Holic. And this is what we're going to use. I only have 2 of them. Couldn't get myself to buy 4. It gets a bit costly. So what I will do, I'll test the first 2 juices, and once I've done that, we will then, I will just make a little break and re-wick my drippers, and then we'll taste the other 2. How about that? And I think we should start with the bourbon. We go, wait a minute, I have a little trick here. Let's see if that works. Right. Here you go, there you can see it. It is the Tobacco Bastard bourbon. And I have mixed it, 70 VG, 30 PG with 6 milligram of nicotine. And we take our little dripper, we take the top off. Ooh, it is dry. And we will juice it up very, very nicely. Here we go. Let's screw this back on. Let's put the top cap on. I have restricted the airflow on this little dripper to nearly bottom airflow, only just a little bit of side airflow, and you can actually very nicely regulate this. And if you look out on my channel, you will see there will be a little review of this dripper coming out shortly, and you will have a look what I mean. But in the meantime, let's concentrate on the juice. The coil comes out at, I don't know if you can see that, but here we are. Coil comes out at 0.96 and I vape it at 15 watts. Let's have a go. Right. Now, this is a very nice one, and it certainly has the tobacco flavor which we are expecting, but I think they brought out the bourbon flavor here very, very nicely. They really went for it and managed to get the bourbon flavor very out. There's obviously no sugar in it, so wicks last forever in this thing. I can tell you because I vaped this one for quite some time now already. It's one of my favorite mouth to lung juices. And and the tobacco is certainly tasteable, but it's not overbearing. It's not cutting in your throat, none of that. It is actually very nice tobacco with that little bourbon taste in the background. And I think, and by the time which I tell you that, I tell you I vaped this now for a couple of months already. I think they have nailed this one. So if you are into tobacco with a hint of bourbon in the background, and they have a hint of bourbon, it's certain you can certainly taste it. You can taste it even more if you vape the other juices of Tobacco Bastard. But with that hint of bourbon in the background, it is a delicious, it is really a delicious tobacco mouth to lung vape. Yeah, I can only but recommend that. But let's see what they say themselves about the Tobacco Bastards Bourbon. They call it a sweet, nutty, slightly smoky tobacco with toasted caramel and rich, creamy bourbon notes, medium-bodied, smooth character flavor. And I think that describes it pretty well. You get the nutty flavor. You certainly get, let's pump it up a little bit to 16 watts. You get the nutty flavor, you get the creamy bourbon notes. You certainly do get that. It's all based on the tobacco flavor, and that's what we have here. This is certainly something which you can vape all day, no problem. So let's move on to the next one. You see me looking up at the other monitor every now and again. The reason I do that is to read what they actually call it. But now we go for the Tobacco Bastard Coffee. I just put my other drip on here. Because it could tell you anything, it looks exactly the same. Also comes out at 0.96. Let's take the cap off, and here we have the coffee. Right, let's take the coffee and soak this here very nicely. There we go. Let's put the cap back on. Airflow exactly the same. Coil exactly the same. It's an NI80. I think it's 9 reps, 26 gauge coil, and organic cotton. Nice 510 drip tip. And let's have a look at the coffee. Right, what am I supposed to taste here? Let's have a look. They call it a smooth, dark roasted coffee beans with creamy, sweet caramel and whiskey notes. Tobacco flavor. Full-bodied, very aromatic. Yeah. It certainly is full-bodied and it is very aromatic. It's kind of a bit of a Turkish coffee taste. You know, that sweet black coffee? Yeah, that's what it tastes like. You can certainly taste a little bit of a nutty taste in the background as well, and it's all based on tobacco, so you certainly don't lose the tobacco flavor. That is all there. Yeah, it has a certain sweetness with it. That obviously is what they refer to when they call it a sweet caramel. I'm not sure I can taste the caramel, but I taste that kind of strong, sweet black coffee, you know, which they serve in those little cups, where right at the bottom you can actually, you know, your spoon sticks in the cup, it doesn't fall over. Yeah, that one. That's the one I'm talking about. Nice and sweet, and you certainly the juice is not overly sweet, so don't get me wrong. You still have the strong tobacco flavor, but you have the coffee with it, and it has a tad of a sweetness to it. And it is, in my opinion, very delicious. So if you're looking for a mouth-to-lung vape tobacco with your cup of coffee in the morning, you know, you need your nicotine shot to get yourself going, I think that would be a good way to start the day. Yeah, love this. I love this. I must say I'm very impressed with this little dripper. It works very well. You pick them up very cheap these days, so if you're looking out for a mouth-to-lung dripper, you might want to have a look at that one. Vapeflyholic. But anyway, we're not talking about the dripper, we're talking about the juice, and I tell you what, the Tobacco Bastards coffee is delicious. It has this tobacco flavor. It certainly has the sweet, strong Turkish coffee with it, and it tastes delicious. If you're into that kind of thing, I think you really should have a go at that. Now what we're going to do now, we just take a little break, and I will re-wick these two drippers quickly, and then we'll have a look at the other two flavors I have lined up for you for this particular video. Right, and I'm back, all freshly wicked up and juiced up, and took a couple of drags to get the cotton in, and here we are. We are now looking at the original Tobacco Bastard, which is obviously what they came out with. And it is obviously made for people who come from smoking and want to go into vaping in order to assist them with give up smoking. And in order to do that, they are looking for a tobacco type juice, and obviously a draw like a cigarette, which is mouth to lung, so Tobacco Bastard. They also make juices, they not only make the one shots, obviously. Came up with this, and this is the original, as you can see right next to me as well. And let's drip it in here. Right, got that on. Then we just have a quick look at what they say, what it should taste like. Right, what they say is it should be a sweet, slight, smoky, generic tobacco leaf type flavor with caramel and burnt sugar notes. An exquisite fine tobacco flavor. Well, let's see if that gets close to that. Let's put our top cap on and airflow the same, coil the same, wick the same. Let's go. Oh yeah. Now this has the tobacco is certainly more dominant than it is in the other two. You have the tobacco notes coming through strongly. You have a bit of the burnt sugar in the very background. You could call it burnt caramel maybe. Somebody who stopped smoking or is planning to stop smoking. This is a very nice tobacco flavor. Obviously I've done this one before, and I use it on a regular basis, and I must say I haven't been disappointed by any of these three flavors. The fourth one, which we're going to have a look now, I never had a go at, so it will be a first for me and you. But yeah, this is certainly a very nice tobacco with a bit of a burnt caramel in the background. It's not sweet at all, it just has a hint of sweetness in the background, which makes it more palatable if you want so, and it is very, very nice. I certainly like it. And then last but not least, we have a look at the light. Now I have never used the light. I mixed that up a couple of weeks ago, quite a few weeks ago actually, and it's time to give it my first go. Pop my Tobacco Bastard Light Cherry. Let's see what it does. Let's see what I'm supposed to taste here. It says a versatile light tobacco flavor with hints of caramel and toasted notes. Medium bodied with balanced flavor. That sounds very similar to the tobacco, doesn't it? Right. Let's see how that tastes. No. There's certainly, the tobacco notes are lighter here. Now what I've done, I've put them on two different atomizers. The Aegis Max right over here, and I have the Cold Steel 100 over here. But that doesn't really matter, just a battery. So let's see. That is the original. So So I know now what that tastes like. And now we compare it with the light. Oh yeah, there's certainly a difference. The light has the tobacco milder, which you expect from a mild, but the sweetness has not been increased. I don't know how they got that right, but it certainly has it still has that hint of caramel in the background, just like the original, but the tobacco is kind of dialed back, you know, it's kind of smoking a stronger and a lighter cigarettes, and this certainly is the lighter one. So if you find that the tobacco flavor on the original is just a little bit too tobacco-ish for you, or it's just, you know, you're looking for the tobacco to be dialed back a bit, this is the one for you. This is the light, and it's actually the very first time I vape it. And I must say, it's very nice. It's very nice. It is the same tobacco flavor, dialed back a little bit milder. It's a milder kind of tobacco, but it is very, very nice. So it was interesting to compare these two. The original, here we go, where is my camera? Here we go. Here, the original and the light. And very interesting. I like the light. I really do like the light. I think I'm going to vape it a bit more often now. It is a very, very nice flavor. Just my glasses, so I don't look into my rims all the time. And I like the flavor of this very, very, very much. I think I'll have a go at it more often. I just never had a go at it because the others are so nice. I always vape them, so it's the first time I have a go at the light, so I can recommend it. So from this range, you will probably have realized by now this is a bloody gush fest. I like all of them. I love all of them. I think for a mouth to lung, higher nicotine vape, if you are looking for a kind of a tobacco flavored, short of naturally it's extracted, which is very difficult to get hold of where I am, this is probably something you might want to have a look at. It's not overly expensive, especially if you buy the one shots like I do. Mix it yourself and you will find that you will have a very nice mouth to lung tobacco experience, and you can either have it with the bourbon, the coffee, the original or the light, all of them with a hint of caramel, the coffee a bit more sweet than the others, but all of them certainly solidly based on a very nice tobacco flavor. And that's it. That's my juice review on the Tobacco Bastards one shots, which I have in my possession. There are more tobacco bastard flavors around. I was on their website. There's a whole range. I obviously can only have a look at what I can get hold of here in South Africa, and not everybody, they're now having the ready-made juices here, but they don't have the one shots. They are very difficult to get hold of. So if you are in South Africa and you see them, grab them and have a go at them. Thanks very much for popping in. Hope you enjoyed that. All the best and greetings from Cape Town. Cheers and goodbye.